Hi, I've made this video for people doing Paul McWhorter's Arduino Uno R4 lesson number 70 who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed by Paul's program. This video is quite long, in fact very long, so because I'm a bit of a slow coach, you may as well watch it on double speed, and I'm sure I will sound sensible then rather than a bit stupid. So I used to be in charge of program excellence at one company I used to work with, and it was because all the systems were changing from being in COBOL to being in natural, so someone had to be in charge of making sure that people could actually program in this new language, and my job was to look at people's programs and tell them where they were going wrong, which didn't make me very popular with the men. The women were okay, the men, the seasoned programmers said, well, I used to program like this in COBOL, why can't I do this in natural? And the young whiz kids thought, what does she know? So anyway, these are my thoughts on the matter. Now this is Paul's program that I downloaded from his website, and I'm just going to go through it and say what I don't like, and I'll suggest some things that I prefer to do. First of all, I don't like it when you import star from something because you're using up an awful lot more room than you need because you're importing everything obviously, and you don't really know whether you might get clashes with function names and things. Then I normally put libraries that don't need to be installed above the ones that do need to be installed. The rule of thumb is that you have the automatically available ones followed by the ones that you've had to install, followed by your own. And on the subject of order, definitions generally want to be up there, up under the imports. Then I would do everything in the constructor, because here that's the constructor for the label, and you've got all your defaults set up, and then you're immediately overwriting the alignment, overwriting the style sheet, overwriting the that. So that's a bit of a waste of time, and it isn't very easy to it isn't easy on the eye doing it like that, is it? If you do it all in the constructor, it looks a lot better, as I will show you. And the same thing as with the buttons. There you go. Admittedly, you've got that function in the middle, which makes things more difficult, but I would definitely do that in a constructor. Now the buttons, if you're doing everything in the constructor, they don't actually need a name, and it makes it a bit more difficult to follow the program if you've got push button red as opposed to just you've got a button and you push it. So you don't need to call it push button red or push button green or push button anything. What else don't I like? Duplicated code. This is what I hate about it. Well, Paul did all this, doing that, and then cutting and pasting for green, cutting and pasting for blue. I don't like that at all, and I prefer to avoid long lines of code like that one and that one. If you can try to keep it under 80 characters in a line, then it helps quite a bit. So this is what I would do. First of all, I put at the top, I've got this written somewhere, yeah, I put at the top of the program I'm amending my to-do list, and then that means you can when you've done it, you can just cross it off, well, delete it, and then you think, I've finished. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all the copy and pasted things. So I've got that for red, so I'm going to get rid of, I'll put the blue and the green back, but I'm getting rid of that and I'll do the same thing for the push button. So that's all red, so down here I'll get rid of all the green and the blue. Yep. Then I'm going to move the sys, whoops, up there. So what am I going to do? In the order of things, I actually prefer to have those two lines up there, because then you can see all your layouts, where all your layouts are within the program. What am I going to do now? Toggled. Right, I can get rid of order of program items, I believe. There. Now, I want to, what's the next thing I want to do? I want to get rid of the imports. No, not the imports. I want to get rid of the import stars. So, if you look through the program and you see what you've used, then it's much easier if you put them here. So if you go from import qt5 blah 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 and you get rid of the star and you put a bracket, and then down here you put another bracket, and you go through your program and you get everything and you put them in alphabetical order. I know alphabetical order is a bit OCD, so you go through and you copy that and you paste and put a comma. What else do we have? QMainWindow. Whoops. Copy. Paste like that. Then QMainWidget, QWidget. QLabel. Paste. Ah, no, that was in the wrong place. Label. What else do we have? Box layout. Which comes there. So how many? What am I missing? I am missing the push button. The push button. Push button. There. Push button. Copy. P comes after M. And if you leave a trailing space there, it means that if you delete a line or whatever, then with version control and everything, you will know more easily what's happened. So we'll move up here. So that ought to be okay. And then we'll get rid of that and do the same with this one. And I think all we need is QT, comma. Now, just to see whether it works, I will try running it. Yep, there. You've got one toggle window, one red window. So that still works okay. And all your imports are okay. Now, what I want to do is, I said I did not like having that label like that. I wanted to put it as a in the constructor. So if I'll just keep what I had in the beginning and comment it out, so I kind of know where I'm going to. Right, you have welcome to that. Get rid of that bracket and you put there, and then you go A and you put alignment, and instead of a bracket you have that, and then you have a comma, and then you want your style sheet. So you go down here, you go S, and then you get rid of everything there, style sheet, and again you have an equals, and you get rid of bracket, comma, and then I've just got height equals 50. Right, that ought to be okay. And then it's just main layout, add widget label. We'll see if that works. Will it still do anything? Yeah, it will still do anything. So I haven't broken anything yet, but give me time. Now, the next bit is the push button, red. So, that's strange. I haven't done all the order. That's what I should have done next. Right, I will take that define and move it up to, did I say, yes, I said I'd done all the order, but I haven't done all the order. I will move it up to there, and then I will take this define and move it up to here. Right. So what else do I need to do? I've done the import everything. I haven't done everything in the constructor yet. Oh, I've taken out the duplicated codes and functions. So down here we go. Oh, I'll get rid of that bit now. This push button red. Here we go. So instead of doing that, you can go push button, or again I will copy and paste that so I don't, how many there are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. We'll comment that out. Comment out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I did that wrong. That wasn't meant to be. That's better. Right. So here we go. So pushButtonRed equals pushButton. Get rid of that bracket. Put in a comma, and then it's the style sheet. So you put S, and you just go like that, and get rid of that bracket. Go to the end. Get rid of that bracket. Oh no, I wanted a comma. I wanted a comma, stupid woman. Come on. Comma. Now it's height, because you can't do set fixed size in the constructor, which is very annoying. So you go height equals 50, comma. Then you have a problem because you can't do the set size. You have to go minimum width. This is for when you change the size of the window. It can go a bit funny. Width, and then I'll copy that, and that would be maximum width. And then I've done that bit, and then it's clicked equals clicked equals, and then it wants to be that, I believe, equals pushButtonClicked, and that, and then we have pushButtonLayout, add widget, blah blah blah. Right, we'll see if that works. Well, it still seems to be working, which is fairly lucky. So we do the same thing for the jolly old toggle button. So again, I will copy those lines, copy, paste, paste. Comment that out. Oh, I can get rid of that lot because it works. Get rid of that bit. Right, we want to do the same again. toggleButtonRed equals pushButton, whoops, comma, like that. Then we have the style sheet, which I had next. Oh, I'll do the checkable first. So I'll go C, like that, checkable, and that wants to be checkable equals true. Get rid of that, like that. Now it's the turn of the style sheet, so I go S and do it like that. Style sheet again equals up to the end, get rid of the bracket, put in a comma. Where are we now? What else do we need? So we've got, then we have to do the height, the minimum width and the maximum width, which I can just copy from there. Whoops. And so I don't need that, and then it's the clicked equals, get rid of that, clicked equals toggle red. I think, is that toggle red? Yes. Put bracket on the end, and hopefully that should work. We'll try again. Right. Yeah, seems to be working perfectly. So I will get rid of those lines. And you can see that the program has got quite a lot shorter. Quite a lot shorter already. Now what do I need to do next? I've forgotten what I need to do next. Right, so now you've done that, you can think to yourself, right, I can just copy those, paste them again, and everything would be wonderful, because I'll just change all the greens to reds to green, and then change the reds to blue, and everything would be wonderful. But you don't want to do that. No, 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 you don't want to do copy and paste. So what you really want to be able to do is, instead of having this push button red clicked, you want to change that to push button clicked. So if you take out the red, actually I won't burn all my bridges, so comment out that. Sorry, I'm being very slow. Then you take out the red, and that ought to work. So we'll try it again. Oops. No, it didn't work. I obviously didn't change it. Did I change it down there? Where is the red? Where? No, I didn't. Right, we'll take out the red. Will that work? Yep, look. It's still working. But if you want to, oh, I'll take that out now. If you want to use that one thing for all the colours, you need to pass a parameter of colour into it. So you go colour, and then when you go into it, you don't want to blink red, you want to blink colour. But if you change that to an F string, and you change that to an F string, then you can use this colour there. Instead of red, you go curly bracket, and you do the same there. Now that ought to work, apart from you haven't said that you're passing in a parameter down here. It's just as it was, it's just push button clicked, and it's expecting a parameter now. So what you can do is you use something, I will just get it from somewhere. You use a very handy thing called partial. So from functools, import partial, and what that does is if if you use partial, if it doesn't have all the parameters in it, you can list them afterwards. I will just show you what I mean. So we go down here, as opposed to pushButtonClicked there, we put in partial of pushButtonClicked, and then we put in comma color. But we haven't defined color, so up here I'll just put color equals red. Now hopefully that ought to work as it was. Fingers crossed. There, toggle red, not that I meant I did any, right, that all seems to be working fine. And I suppose we can do the same thing with the toggle button red as opposed to push button red. So we put in partial comma color, and hopefully the color will still be set from up there. I don't think I will have done anything to it. And partial toggle red. Right, so it isn't toggle red, it's called toggle, what shall I call it? Oh, I'll call it toggle button. Toggle button. Up here, toggle button. And I can never remember which way round they go, whether you put the colour or the checked or the checked or the colour. I'm going to try colour first. Colour. Right. If checked, blah, blah, blah. Right. We don't want red toggle on. We want that. Oh, and it wants to be an F string. F string. And then that, and that wants to be an F string. Don't know what that space is doing there. Don't like that space there. Right, color. If not checked, then you go F string, color, toggle off. Now, I don't know why that is there and there. I'm just going to take that line, copy, and move it up there. And that wants to be unindented, so I can get rid of that one and that one. Now that ought to work. Yeah, it's working like anything, working like anything. So what else do I need to do? Right, if checked, toggle on. If not checked, toggle off. Paul doesn't like elifs, but I do. But you can get round not having either of them. So instead of that, you can have label.setText, F color, toggle, and then here you can put, you can put curly bracket, square bracket, off, comma, on, close square bracket. I'm probably going to make an awful mistake here, and then checked. Checked and close square bracket. And what that does is it says if checked is true, then it's on. If checked is false, it's off, and hopefully that ought to work. So you don't need that, and you don't need any of that, and it wants to be like that. So this is where it could go horrendously wrong. Oh no, F's expecting something. I think I forgot a curly bracket. Yes, I did. Will that work? So we have blink red, toggle red, on, off, on, blink, yup. So now I've done everything in the constructor, I'm pretty sure. Have I done everything in the constructor? Yes, constructor, constructor, constructor. So what we want to, oh, I'll get rid of that comment now. Whoops. I'll get rid of that. Now my next gripe, why bother to give it a long name? Why indeed bother to give it a long name? Sorry, a name. Why bother to give the button a name? Because you're just doing it and then you're immediately adding it to your layout. So what you can do is you can go, instead of that, you can go, before I do that, having a layout name that long can cause you a bit of trouble because your lines get too long. So I'm just going to change that to PB layout, and the toggle button can be toggle button layout, and that can be PB layout. Have I changed all of them? Oh no, that's TB layout. Will that work? We'll try. No, PB layout is not defined. PB layout. Ah, didn't do that. PB layout, TB layout. Will that work? Well, as you can see, it appears to be, but who knows? So that means that the lines will be a bit shorter. But we don't need that. As I said before, we do not need to call it anything. So instead of defining it as push button red equals, you could just add it to the layout straight away. So if you go PB layout, add widget, brackets, copy, like that. So that's PB layout, add widget of that, and then you need a bracket, then you get rid of that. Will that work? Well, it appears to be working. So we can do the same thing with the jolly old toggle button. So we could go like that, grab that, copy, blah blah blah, paste, delete, add a bracket and get rid of that. Run it again. There. So what have I done now? I have buttons aren't referenced, so don't need to be named. Yep, we can get rid of that. So if we look at it, it's looking a jolly sight nicer. You have to admit this program looks a jolly sight nicer, having the functions up there, having everything in the constructors for things, adding all the layouts at the same time, and down there. Now, one thing was the lines are too long. The lines are too long. So what you can do is, no, I won't do that quite yet. Now this is only doing it for red. Now you think, I can just copy and paste that, and then I can copy and paste that with green and blue and everything would be wonderful. But that isn't the way to do it. So if instead of that colour equals red, you go for colour in, and then you have it red, comma, green, blue, like that, and then you want a colon, then you want to tab everything over like that. Did that work? Yeah, I think it did. And here we go. You've got everything, but you've still got all the red and whatever. So you put, instead of the red, you put colour in curly bracket. Curly bracket. This is probably all going to go horrendously wrong. Blink red, and then the background colour is, whoops, colour, like that. And then I would hope everything will work. We have to do the same again because I haven't defined colour anymore. We have to do the same again for the jolly old toggle button. So for colour in colour, tab that over, and then we just want to take colour, copy that, so it's instead of the red, oh, I need an F string there, nearly forgot the F string, and I need F string there, and I need F string there, and F string there, and then colour in squiggly brackets. Now if this works, it will be an absolute miracle. So that is the equivalent of, that's the computer doing copy and pasting for me. So we'll run it and keep everything crossed. Hurrah! Look at that. So toggle red, red toggle on, red toggle off, blink red, toggle green, on, off, green, like that, on, off. Well, that is a total miracle. Now I'll just have a quick look at this program to see what else I might have done or might need. Avoid long lines of code. Yup. Now the only 2 lines of code are there. So if I just go style, don't know why that went there, style, I might actually be able to tab them back again, I don't know, equals, and then I just take that without the whatnot, without the comma, that is still too long, and then style sheet equals style, I suppose, style. Let's try seeing what happens if I tab that back. I'm not holding my breath. There, will that work? No, invalid syntax, blah blah blah. Something has happened there. Style equals f string style equals f string background color. That could have been my tabs that did that. I will just see. No, you stupid woman. That didn't want to go there. It wanted to go there. Will that work? And look, it works. Toggle red. So I'll do the same thing again with this one. Right, we want here, we want style equals, and then I take the whole of that line apart from the comma. I put it there and I change that to style, and I still don't know about all of these indentations. I don't know whether they mind wherever they go. We'll try moving that in a bit. Who knows? We'll try running it. There we go. Blink red, toggle red, on, off, green thingy, what's it, what's it, what's it. Now, just one quick look. Avoid long lines of code. Yep. Hurrah! So, have I done everything? We've got one function for all the buttons clicked, one function for the toggle buttons clicked. We've got, well, I think that looks pretty fine to me. Oops, I want a space there. So in 66 lines of code, I've done it. So that's my alternative program.